In this video, we'll be talking about finding scale factor. So by the end of this video, you should be able to say that you can find the scale factor between two similar figures. Now, before we go into a couple examples, I first want to talk about what corresponding sides and corresponding angles are. So the first thing you want to see is that I have labeled that side AB, this red side, corresponds with XY. Now what that means is that these two similar figures, although that they're different, AB, side AB, matches up with XY. So these are the same side of two different similar figures. Also, side DC corresponds with side WZ. And what this means is that although they're two different sizes, these two sides correspond with one another, or they match with one another, as far as similar figures are concerned. Now, corresponding angles are a little bit easier to identify. Now here you'll see that angle A corresponds with angle X. And what this means is that these two angles, although we have two different size shapes, these two angles are actually the same angle measure. So if angle X is 78 degrees, or I'm sorry, 102 degrees, angle A would also have to be 102 degrees. Also, side Y and side B are corresponding with one another. So if this is 78 degrees, this here is also 78 degrees. Now, in this example, you'll see that we have two similar sides, or two similar figures, and this one's pretty easy to identify. I can say that the scale factor between this figure and this figure is 2, because if I multiply 4 by 2, that'll give me 8 inches. And also, if I multiply 2 by 2, that'll give me 4 inches. So this is a very simple example of scale factor in similar figures. These two figures are similar to one another because they're both dimensions, the length and the width, are increasing by a factor of 2. Now, in this example, what we have is two similar figures, but these are a little bit more difficult to identify as far as the scale factor is concerned. I know that 8 times some number gives me 12. Now, most people, when they see this right off the bat, they're going to assume that these two figures are not similar to one another, because if I multiply 8 by 2, that's 16, and that's way over our similar side of 12 inches. However, there is a number that I can multiply 8 by that will give me 12, and you'll see how we figure this out in just a moment. Now here, what we have is called a fact family. So this example right here. I know that 6 times 3 gives me 18. Our product 18 divided by one of our factors, 6, gives me 3. And 18 divided by 3 will give us this factor of 6. Now let's pretend for a moment that we don't know that 5 times this number will give us 35. We don't know what this number is. But what I can do is I can use the idea of a fact family to find this missing number. Now, I don't know what 5 times blank equals 35 is, but I can tell you that 35 divided by 5 gives us 7. Also here, 35 divided by 7 gives us 5, so I know that 5 times 7 gives us 35. Now, in this example, I know that 8 times some number gives me 12. I don't know what this number is, but what I can do is I can use division, 12 divided by 8, to give us our missing scale factor. Now you'll have the luxury on the assessment and on during schoolwork to have a calculator. So I can use 12 divided by 8 to give me my scale factor of 1.5. So I know that 8 times 1.5 will give me 12. I can also check over here. Again, I know that 4 times some number equals 6. I don't know what that number is, but I can divide 6 by 4, or I can do 6 over 4, and that'll give us a scale factor of 1.5. So these two figures are similar, and their scale factor is 1.5. Now in this example, we're going from a large figure to a small figure. So I want to find the scale factor of 10 from 10 meters and 15 meters to 6 meters and 9 meters. So just like before, I know that 10 times some number will give me 6, but I don't know what that number is yet. So what I'll do is I'll divide 6 by 10 to give us our scale factor. I can do 6 over 10 as well. And if I use our calculator, I can see that 6 divided by 10 gives us 0.6, or 6/10, and that will be our scale factor. And similarly, if I multiply 15 by 6/10, that'll give me a scale factor of 9.